Thank you, Anita, for keeping us up to date.
You got us?
Oh, I see. I hear.
It's a serious public health problem. In the latest data, the CDC.
Yeah. Yep, I can hear you.
So are we doing the full show, or are you going to be condensing at some point?
I've heard nothing. Nobody's talking to me.
Okay.
You said yes, we are condensing?
Yes. Do you hear Diddy?
No.
He
he's
says
not talking
no.
to me. I'll check my
I
thing,
can hear you.
Make sure I'm not come loose.
Yeah, we can hear him.
Maybe I've come loose. Okay.
Minute out.
Middle Tennessee's only primetime news. This is Fox 17 News at 9, your Code Red station.
We begin tonight with a code red weather alert. As we have for the last several days, parts of the mid-state right now are under a flood watch.
This all thanks, of course, to what's left over from Francine. Code Red Chief Meteorologist Katie Morgan joining us here now with a rainy next few days.
We're going to continue to see scattered showers and storms. I know a lot of us have not seen the rain that we were expected to get, and unfortunately I don't think we're going to pan out with what we were expecting earlier as far as our rain totals go. Folks west of us, however, have picked up the rain, and that continues to be where most of the rain is for this evening. We will see a few showers and storms mainly west of I-65 for tonight. That's where we could be looking at a few heavy pockets. The good news is that I want to pass along, severe weather is no longer a concern for us. No more tornado threat or wind threat for us either. This is a look at the radar right now, and you can see that a lot of these showers and storms are riding this stationary boundary. So west of 65 continues to be the sweet spot this evening as far as where the best rain is. So we're seeing some of those showers through portions of Lawrence County, Giles County, and Warren County. And we'll be looking at the potential for a few more pockets of rain as we head through the evening hours here at Linden, even Waynesboro, looking good with rain this evening as well. There's the flood watch again. This is until 7 a.m. So our code red alert will be allowed to expire once the watch here goes away, which will be tomorrow morning. And beyond that, for Saturday, we are looking at rain to continue. But again, severe weather won't be a concern. As we take you through the overnight into tomorrow morning, the chances for showers continue for us, mainly off and on. We'll have a look at some of the area matchups that are going on as far as football goes, and we'll walk you through Future Track, all coming up.
These are the structures that are set to be demolished as early as today in Old Tent City. So why not pull out the 100+ housing pods that have been tucked away in storage for the past few years?
And the high cost of homelessness, as Nashville's mayor says, there's progress on the housing front. Fox 17 News takes you inside Old Tent City. Fox 17 News' Kylie Walker showing us why Metro now wants those structures gone.
Remember yesterday I told you those living in Old Tent City are asking for a 90-day pause on the demolition process. Now the mayor today said that he will consider a delay, but he wants to first review what they're asking for before making any sort of decision.
That's my kitchen with the sink. I got a full fridge.
Deep in the woods is a whole community of roughly 160 people living just off the Cumberland River on Metro land.
This is my living room with the couch.
William has lived in Old Tent City the last 3 years, where he built this structure out of plywood.
This is my bedroom.
Last week, city leaders slapped this notice on the window.
And I just found out a week and a half ago they were coming to tear my house down.
The city citing safety concerns for, quote, unsafe structures, which are using power obtained illegally from nearby sources.
People can't live in tents in a cold weather. I mean, it's freezing out here.
William is part of a larger group who signed a petition asking the city to put a temporary pause on the demolition process. Some want permanent housing, while others want to gather their belongings.
Like I said, they haven't done nothing with this since the 80s. Why now? We're not bothering nobody.
In 2022, Nashville committed $50 million to combat homelessness, prioritizing camps citywide for resources and housing. But Old Tent City has yet to be addressed. City leaders blame lack of housing as the main obstacle.
These are the structures that are set to be demolished as early as today in Old Tent City. So why not pull out the 100+ housing pods that have been tucked away in storage for the past few years?
The reason has been to do with state approval for those. The city has been trying to get these into implementation for a long time.
In 2021, Fox 17 News revealed 108 pallet housing pods costing over $1.2 million in federal funds were unused and stored away. They have failed to meet code standards, but Mayor Freddie O'Connell says that could soon change.
We got an update this week that suggests we may finally be able to use all those pods.
Now, of course, I talked to lots of people earlier today, got lots of mixed reviews. Well, some people say that they do want permanent housing, they would accept it, and they have been asking for that for years. People like William, who you just heard from, says he doesn't want housing. He wants to continue living on the streets where there are no rules and he can have his dogs. He also says that if they do demolish his structure, that he will rebuild it. For now, reporting in Nashville, Kylie Walker, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Fox 17 News tracking the conditions in Old Tent City. You can see our previous reporting on the push to close this camp on the Fox Nashville YouTube channel. In Operation Crime and Justice, which presidential candidate will make America safer is among the issues weighing on the minds of voters this fall.
Fox 17 News' Kayla Gaskin's digging deeper into the numbers tonight, and you can let us know what you think by scanning the QR code that will appear on your screen.
The Department of Justice releasing a new report Thursday showing crime rates remain elevated under President Biden. The new data challenging the narrative currently being pushed by the White House and the Kamala Harris campaign.
We've seen the lowest in crime in more than 50 years. The last administration, we saw the highest numbers of murder.
The DOJ numbers come from a massive annual government survey of crime victims. The report finding 22.5 out of every 1,000 residents reported being the victim of a violent crime in 2023. 102 of every 1,000 people, so roughly 10%, reported being the victim of a property crime. Both of these numbers are statistically unchanged from 2022. Both are also higher than 2020. The final year of Donald Trump's first term as president.
The public can look at the National Crime Victimization Survey and see that crime is not going down. Again, we are told to not believe our lying eyes.
There's also the FBI statistics, which is what the White House has been using. They do show decreases year to year, but still higher than 5 years ago. And this data has massive holes. In 2022, less than half of the police departments in the country gave the FBI complete crime data reports, causing critics to slam this fact check by ABC moderators during the debate.
Crime in this country is through the roof.
President Trump, as you know, the FBI says overall violent crime is actually coming down in this country. But Vice President Harris,
the FBI they were defrauding statements. They didn't include the worst cities. I lost a lot of respect for David Muir. He came at me with things. I was right about the crime stats going way up.
Gallup polling from April found 60% of American adults believe reducing crime should be a top priority for the president and Congress. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
Now, during that story, we had a QR code on screen linking viewers with a poll asking if you think crime in your neighborhood has gotten better, worse, or stayed the same over the last 5 years. You see the results with 338 people weighing in. The majority, 68.6%, say worse. 8% say better. 23.4% said it has remained the same. Our thanks for all who took time to vote in our poll. All right, let's talk about the weather again. It has been the subject for days. And Katie, despite the threat, it turned out to be a decent night for high school football.
Not too bad. A little humid. If you've been outside, you can feel the difference. We have Francine to thank for that as well. Kind of tropical feeling,
sure,
right?
Better than playing in the rain.
What a
though,
sweet gift. I know, right? We got the humidity, we didn't get the rain. And
short end of the stick.
Right. And unfortunately, I think as we move forward here, some will see more rain and others won't. It's just going to depend on where you are again. We're not done yet, though. We do at least have the chance for scattered rain showers around. The good news is no severe weather. This is a look at our 2-day rain total now. Yesterday, I showed you the 1-day rain total. Today, we've added in more of those showers. And again, anywhere between 1 to about 3 inches. But notice the sharp cutoff that happened here all west of I-65. And then everywhere else, we were lucky to pick up 1/10 of an inch as far as rain goes, and that's over 2 days' time. So what happened? Let's talk about that. The track of Francine shifted west, and that took all of the heavy rain bands with it. Along with that, yesterday we were really fighting some dry air, so anything that we did have on radar, the rain was likely not hitting the surface. We didn't see a lot of it making its way to the ground, and that's another reason why we just have not seen the rain that models thought we might see out of Francine. This gives you a visual, and the green arrows that you see here is the forecast from the National Hurricane Center on Wednesday morning, so 24 hours out from when we started to see impacts. You can see the forecast took the storm all the way up the Mississippi River. Pretty good as far as accuracy goes until we got to Memphis, and that is where we saw the sharp curve to the west, and that is where the current position is of what's left of Francine, which is just the low at this point. But notice how much it shifted west. It took all of that heavy rain with it, unfortunately, and we talked about the fact that a shift either way in the track could greatly change the forecast, and unfortunately it did not change in our favor. We really do need the rain. Now, I do think we are looking at least the chance for scattered showers and storms. They will pop up here and there throughout the weekend. If you have plans, the bottom line is make sure you have your rain gear handy. As we take you through Saturday morning, again, the flood watch remains in effect south and west. We've got scattered rain around. The good news is severe weather is not going to be an issue for us as we head through the weekend. As we go through Saturday midday, pockets of rain continue around the area, and that will be the story as we head through Saturday night, early Sunday. Bit of a break for the beginning of Sunday here, and as we head towards 12 noon, showers will be around, but I know we've got both the Titans home opener going on, and we've got the Music City Grand Prix going on. For now, it's looking like the showers may be south of 40 for the most part on Sunday, with the exception of a stray shower or two north. But nonetheless, I'd probably still bring the rain gear if you're going to be out this weekend, because those chances are still high enough that I think you'll want to make sure you're at least prepared for that. Here's Monday morning at 5 a.m. We're looking at, again, mainly dry conditions. Shower chances will begin to taper off as we go through Sunday and into Monday. So additional rainfall once again should be most west of I-65. That's really going to be the bullseye for the big jackpot as far as rain goes. Good news, though, for folks out west, this is where some of the highest drought has been. We'll talk more about the current drought situation, which does not include adding in all of the rainfall that we've had with Francine. But we'll talk more about what we see now as far as how dry we really are. That's coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast. Megan.
Getting the green light for the new Titan Stadium, how much the city is in for.
And more young people taking their own lives, the factors playing a role in youth suicides.
Continuing coverage, tonight's Metro Sports Authority giving the green light for the rest of the money needed for the new Titans Stadium project to be released. Fox 17 News' Peyton Muse in studio after digging into those numbers.
So this means they passed 50% of the construction plan for the new stadium, the guaranteed maximum price, the construction management agreement, and more. And this is an exciting time as things needed to be approved before October 1st or the entire stadium project would unravel and everything would go back to square one. The stadium broke ground in February and the Titans have poured their end of the deal into the project. And now the Sports Authority released the city's portion of the funds, and that's the $760 million and the state's $500 million. To address concerns surrounding parking, specifically off of Interstate Drive. Take a listen.
We've got about 3 years to work out. I mean, this is not something we've got to solve tomorrow, but we got to start. We are already started. We got to work to solve it and have a really good plan in place for that and everything else in February of 27.
And the Titans says either way, they want to minimize the impact as much as they can. And as construction continues, the new stadium is planned to debut in 2027. Reporting in studio, Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In health news tonight, CDC numbers show that suicide is the second leading cause of death among young people in this country between 10 and 34. Fox 17 News' Amanda Chen now to show us how economic and social conditions may be playing a role.
It's a serious public health problem. In the latest data, the CDC says suicide was responsible for the deaths of more than 49,000 people in 2022.
It's a largely preventable form of death. So we have a lot of opportunity to reduce those numbers, but they are high.
A new CDC report is providing more evidence that social and economic conditions play a significant role in efforts to prevent suicide. Researchers found suicide rates in 2022 were 26% lower in counties with the highest health insurance coverage, 44% lower in counties where most homes have broadband internet access, and 13% lower in counties with the most household income.
Increased access to healthcare and especially mental health care and making that affordable is something that matters a lot.
Dr. John Ackerman with Nationwide Children's Hospital says communities need to play a role in suicide prevention, and so do parents. He says to talk to children about suicide.
It's been shown that we don't increase the risk of suicide when we ask a question like, have you ever thought about ending your life? Or have you had kids in your classroom that are struggling with harming themselves or saying that they don't want to be alive?
Ackerman says it's also important to safely store unsafe objects in the home, including medication and firearms, and make sure children get involved in things they care about.
They're fostering opportunities to grow and learn and make connections, and that they know that they're not alone.
I'm Amanda Chen reporting for Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
If anyone is struggling with thoughts of self-harm, help is available. Just call or text the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. Only 3 letters to know, or numbers, I should say, 988.
Still to come tonight, facing a future Hall of Famer, how the Titans defense is getting ready for Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
Titans have had a busy week getting ready to welcome Aaron Rodgers and the New York Jets to Nissan Stadium on Sunday.
Well, it's never easy when you're going up against a future Hall of Famer, but as sports director Jill Jelnick explains, it's a challenge the Titans defense is actually looking forward to.
The Tennessee Titans will now go from trying to contain a rookie quarterback last week to containing a future Hall of Fame quarterback this week in Aaron Rodgers. Titans head coach Brian Callahan saying that the biggest difference when going up against someone of Rodgers' caliber is that you can't hide anything from him. He's seen it all, and you're definitely not going to fool him on game day. So what do? You have to stick to your fundamentals. Coach Callahan preaching the little details, the executing the one-on-ones and making sure they're solid on their run defense, because if they don't execute those small things, Rodgers will pick them apart.
The biggest difference usually is that they have seen everything, and so there's not a lot of hiding. Most of these quarterbacks that have played long enough at the level that he's played at, you don't really fool them very often. So you got to be sound in what you're doing and how you do it. You can try your best to make it hard on them, but for the most part, there's not a lot of things that he hasn't seen. And so it's all going to be about how we play fundamentally.
I mean, I'm a rookie, so, I mean, growing up watching him is pretty dope, and now I get to play against him, so I think I'm going to go out there and have fun and, you know, just be myself.
With Aaron Rodgers, he probably got the best hard count that, I done seen outside of Coach Callahan, our O-line coach. But at the end of the day, you just got to be able to, sometimes when you're watching tape, you be like, he don't give you opportunity to hit him. But at the end of the day, it's ways that we can affect the game. If we get a good rush by getting our hands up, we know how quick you get the ball out, of course, but we're going to have some opportunities, hopefully.
Some good news for the Titans on the injury front. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, who was limited in last week's game against the Bears, is now inching closer and closer to practicing in full. Coach Callahan saying that we should see more of Hopkins this weekend. Reporting from the Titans practice facility, Jill Jolnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
And coming up, we'll talk more about the Titans forecast along with the Music City Grand Prix.
And a Rutherford County teenager charged with stabbing a classmate. What some teachers and parents say could have prevented this violence.
Plus, hitting the streets in the name of protest, what rideshare drivers are asking for tonight.
Appeared to be like a folding knife or some type of pocket knife, and took a large swipe at the kid.
Could have hit anybody, the man says. Tonight in Crisis in the Classroom, a Rutherford County high school student is charged with stabbing a classmate. Happened at Oakland High School in Murfreesboro.
And as Fox 17 News' Karen Aguilar explains, the father of one of the students who witnessed this violence says something needs to change.
Laramie Gregory tells me that his son is shaken after witnessing a stabbing just an arm's length away from him.
Getting a text from him saying, I literally saw someone get stabbed in front of me at school.
The stabbing happened here at Oakland High School in the hallway during a class change, according to his son.
Had what appeared to be like a folding knife or some type of pocket knife, and took a large swipe at the kid.
The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office says an SRO took the 15-year-old student into custody. Students tell Fox 17 News this stemmed from a fight yesterday, but the school was not specific, calling it a, quote, prior incident.
My concern is safety. The school has a bad reputation of fights.
Gregory is wondering if more discipline is needed. Principal John Marshall said in a message to parents Friday students will, quote, face severe disciplinary action, end quote. J.C. Bowman, CEO of Professional Educators of Tennessee, tells me students need to not just be disciplined, but get counseling.
We need to do this. We need to have more communication and make sure the kids are getting the help they need. But we need to address it directly. No more sweeping stuff under the rug.
Bowman and Gregory both say discipline is key.
I'm always going to have that nagging feeling like, did the school do everything that they should have done?
The 15-year-old is charged with aggravated assault and is in the Juvenile Detention Center tonight in Murfreesboro. Karen Aguilar, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Continuing coverage tonight on rideshare drivers demanding change, taking to the streets downtown to protest.
Why are we marching? Equality!
A courthouse to Broadway demanding what they call better working conditions and a meeting with Nashville leaders. Drivers are asking the city to add a curfew for scooters. They also want companies like Uber and Lyft to add a cap on out-of-state drivers coming to Nashville and change how they're paid.
In the past, they used to pay drivers based on mileage and time. They took that one away. They still charge riders, but they don't show it to the drivers.
The Tennessee Drivers Union is holding a town hall later this month. They've invited Nashville's mayor and Metro Council members to join them.
Music City Grand Prix is this weekend on Sunday, but this year it will not be a street race. Construction on the new Titan Stadium forced the organizers to move the race out to Wilson County, the National Superspeedway. Fox 17 News' Madeline Nolan has the story tonight from the track in Gladeville.
This is the first time the Music City Grand Prix will be held right here at the Nashville Superspeedway since 2008, all because of the construction at the Titan Stadium. So for those fans that are used to NASCAR here, well, you're in for a treat, I hear. You can expect speeds of over 200 miles per hour and 270 passes per position. Well, that's normal for IndyCar. With that said, a lot is on the line for these drivers, especially being the last race of the season.
We're just going into it, nice and calm. A lot of things got to go our way. It's, a bit of a steep hill to climb, but, confident. Team Penske's been doing really well all year, and, I just hoping really to deliver a result this weekend.
Teams were setting up Friday morning for a busy weekend ahead. The action starts at the Speedway Saturday with the race on Sunday at 2:45. Here at the Superspeedway, I'm Madeline Nolan, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
In the economy, thousands of Boeing workers will be back in the picket line tomorrow after walking off the job today. They say this tipping point is years in the making. Workers say they continue to watch the top brass see pay raise after pay raise while their salaries stay the same. The company did offer a 25% pay raise over the next 4 years, but workers say that just isn't enough to keep up with the cost of living.
I think that Boeing understands now that we really are sincere about the way we feel. I hope this gets resolved soon.
Experts say this strike will not impact things like flights, but if it goes on long enough, it will slow adding new planes to airlines.
Looking ahead to Sunday morning in Nashville in Focus, this week our panel talks about the 4 bills proposed by Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell to regulate hate groups. Those groups, including neo-Nazis, have marched through through our city several times this year. Now, most of them have been wearing masks, which conceal their identities. There have even been skirmishes with the public. One group disrupted the Metro Council meeting. Question is, how far should city leaders go in regulating what is essentially free speech?
I hate to see that these groups come here and try to light the fire, so to speak.
I think that on Tuesday there's going to be some lively conversations on some of this, and I also think that some of this may warrant to have us in court again.
Other topics discussed on the show Sunday morning include the lack of debates in our U.S. Senate and congressional races and a proposal to expand the no vending zone downtown. That's Sunday morning at 6:30 a.m. on Nashville in Focus. Katie?
Scott, another look at the radar showing that we continue to track showers across the area. All of it west, unfortunately, of I-65. Great for folks west of 65, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the rain that we were expecting east of 65 has just not panned out. So good news for those in, let's say, Centerville to Dickson, Linden, Lawrenceburg, seeing some very beneficial rain here. Also under a flood watch through tomorrow morning. So be mindful that all of the rain you've seen today on top of what we will look at tonight will continue to train over these locations here, and it could lead to some localized flooding concerns. Again, this is some of the hardest hit area where we're seeing the rainfall, so it is good news. Linden to Dickson, Camden, all looking at that extreme drought. A lot of us, though, looking at very dry conditions. The drought monitor cutoff time is Tuesday morning, so Francine impacts here have not been accounted for in the drought. We will likely see an improvement going into next week to the west, but we'll likely not see much improvement for folks east of 65. All right, let's take a turn here, turn the page to college football this weekend. We've got chances for rain in a lot of our games with area football teams. Vanderbilt going to Atlanta versus Georgia State. We'll see scattered showers around through the evening hours. Temperature at kickoff around 68. UT versus Kent State in Knoxville. We'll look at a few showers there as well with a high, or temperature, I should say, at kickoff around 70. MTSU taking on WKU at home in Murfreesboro. A couple showers will be possible there as well with temperatures in the mid-70s. TSU has got the green light this weekend here. Sunshine in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. That's where they are taking on Arkansas Pine Bluff, and we'll see temperatures right around 80 degrees. So looking good for TSU. The rest of us may be looking at some showers as far as the forecast goes. And for the Jets versus Titans, same thing. It's not going to be raining all game. Temperatures will hover in those low 80s for the afternoon, but I think we are looking at least the potential for some showers and thunderstorms throughout the games. I would bring rain gear if you're planning on going to the game on Sunday. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. It is looking much better as we head into next week, just as far as dry weather goes for those that need the dry weather, but I know a lot of us need the rain, and unfortunately that's not a good thing to see here. So just kind of depends on where you're coming from, but we'll see that sunshine around as we head through next week. Temperatures in the mid to upper 80s.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
Friday morning looked a little moody at dawn along Mobile Bay as Francine's remnants continued to swirl around the area. Meanwhile, in southern and central Ohio, at the northern fringe of Francine's remnants, the clouds were at a much higher altitude, allowing for these stunning sunrise pictures we received from viewers.
Want to see your weather photos and videos on TV? Click Chime In on this station's website to share.
And for more weather stories like this every weekday morning, check out the National Weather Desk starting at 8 a.m. on our sister station, MyTV 30.
NASCAR taking on a road course this week and how drivers are preparing.
Plus, foreign governments' influence on America's college campuses, how much cash Tennessee schools receive.
In education news, our partners at OpenTheBooks.com sound the alarm over the influence foreign governments have on America's college campuses.
The watchdog group crunched the numbers. They discovered that governments, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and China, pumped $54 billion into America's college and university campuses last year alone. Schools in Tennessee got $292 million of that money as a group. University of Tennessee got $50 million. MTSU received almost $30 million, 25 of that from Saudi Arabia.
It's an 87% increase from just 2 years ago. So a lot more money coming in. And this is money that pays for, in some cases, tuition for students from those nations, but it's also fellowships and research, faculty positions.
Why do you care? Critics say that kind of money can influence what universities allow in terms of protests on campus. It could also impact curriculum, students' attitudes, which could in turn one day impact America's foreign policy.
And we want to know what you think. Should Tennessee universities accept money from foreign governments? 438 people voting tonight. 94.1% of respondents say no. Just 5.9% say yes.
Just ahead on Fox 17 News Late Edition, swan song for the music director of the Nashville Symphony, the importance of this season.
Hey there, I'm Jennifer Waddell from Fox 17 News this morning. Hope you're having a good night. We've got the Titans inching closer to the home opener. We're going to break down the play-by-play as they take on the Jets. We'll take a look at how parking went with all the construction around town. So tune in Monday starting at 4 a.m. I'll see you on Fox 17 News this morning.
In entertainment news, a huge night for the Nashville Symphony. The start of the new season is also the beginning of what will essentially be the end, the final season for music director Giancarlo Guerrero.
Well, the opening night event is so big that it had to spread across 2 nights. The concert and fanfare will continue tomorrow night, too.
For my last season, I wanted to be very specific about finding the repertoire that not only people have connected to me over my 16 seasons here, and people have gotten to know me as a musician, but repertoire that also showcases the real virtuosity of every musician in this institution.
Guerrero will conduct 8 of 15 classical programs this season. Also, the Symphony's hugely popular movie series returns, where essentially the orchestra performs the scores live for 5 full-length classic and hit movies this season. That'll be fun. And I should tell you, if you're going to the Titans game on Sunday, get there early and watch for this lady in the end zone.
Yes, I'll be there. We're doing the weather live, and hopefully I won't be needing my rain jacket, but I'm going to bring it just in case, and I would probably suggest everyone else do the same.